and welcome to Brand Your Passion, the show that helps you turn the thing you love the most into something that people know and love you for. I'm your host, Holly Arnett, the brand coach for creatives, and I'm on a mission to make the world a more creative place, one brand at a time. If you're ready to get more eyes on your work, more dollars in your pocket, and more creativity in your life, you're in the right place. Welcome. Let's brand your passion. Hey everybody, welcome back to Brand Your Passion. In this week's episode, we are talking all about applying your brand across the entire customer journey. And I'm going to give you a kind of handy step-by-step guide to making that happen. Essentially, branding, and I'm sure, hopefully you've heard this before if you've listened to any of my other episodes about branding or read my blog posts. One of the first blog posts I ever wrote about branding featured this quote, but branding is the subtotal of all the experiences that your customers have with your business. That's a quote by Brian Eisenberg, and the key in that quote is all the experiences. So branding is not just about like your website. It's not just about Instagram. It's not just about your logo. It is about all of the experiences that somebody has with your business and how they come together to create like a reputation or a recognition of your brand as being a certain thing. So it's not just your Instagram, not just buying your product, but it's the whole process and every experience along the way. And if people have like one bad experience, that's really going to influence the reputation that you have in their mind, right? So if they have a really confusing checkout experience, or they are confused the whole way through like the service that you're providing, these are going to be not great experiences and are going to influence how they think of you in the future and what they tell their friends and all of that stuff, right? Whereas on the other side of things, if you provide a really great experience every time they interact with you, then it's going to have a positive influence on what people think about you and your brand, right? So what you want to do is apply your brand across the entire customer journey. So from step 1 to step 21 or however many steps there are, every time somebody's going to interact with your brand, you want that experience to be on brand and intentional so that you can help people like feel a certain way, have a certain experience, leave feeling really good, and then tell their friends about how awesome the experience was. You have probably all had experiences where you buy something and then it gets delivered to you, and like the unboxing process is so beautiful. Like maybe it has like custom tissue paper that's really beautiful and it smells really good, and there's a little handwritten note that comes in the delivery. Like all of those little things make that one part of the experience amazing. And that's what we want to do throughout the whole experience. So this is my step-by-step guide for how you want to do that. So number 1 is that you first want to know how you want your brand to look, right? So you want to have clear guidelines on what your brand should look like. So should it look really fun and bright and use these certain brand colors that you have and certain sets of patterns that you use, certain fonts? Like what are the guidelines for what your brand should look like, and get really clear on what those things are. So those are obviously determined through your brand strategy. So knowing like, well, it should look like this because I want my clients to or my audience to feel like this. I want it to attract this kind of person. All of those things are really going to feed into those decisions. And I've got multiple other episodes that are all about how to choose those things. So definitely check those out if you haven't already. But think about and firstly know how you want your brand to look. Secondly, you want to know how you want your brand to feel and how you want customers or clients to feel when they interact with your brand, right? So do I want my brand to feel really exciting and bubbly and fun and lighthearted and funny and cheeky, or do I want it to feel really serious and professional and direct and kind of that kind of vibe? Like those are very different feelings, and so it's important to know how you want your brand to feel and how you want your audience to feel when they interact with it. Do you want them to feel excited and like they can't wait, or do you want them to feel like really secure and safe and like they're making a good choice? Like, think about how you want them to feel interacting with your brand. Then step number 3, once you know like how you want your brand to look and how you want it to feel, is to list every touch point that a client or customer has with your brand right now. So that could be, if you are like an artist, maybe they find you at a market stall. They're at like the local art market and they see your work there. They pick up a business card and they start following you on Instagram. Then they click through from your Instagram to your website. They go to your online store. They find something that they want to buy and then they start to check out. Once they've checked out and bought something, they get like delivery updates. Then the product itself arrives and they experience like the packaging. Then they get the product itself and what that's like. And then maybe they get like follow-up emails as a customer, giving them like discounts or loyalty opportunities or whatever it is that you email them afterwards. So that's an example of like every touch point a customer might have with your brand throughout their customer journey, right? If you are a service provider, that might be different. Maybe they hear about you from a friend and they check out your website and then they email you to talk about working with you. Then you book in a discovery call with them. Then maybe you send them a quote and they accept that, and hopefully you get the idea, but don't need to go through the whole process. But think about everything they interact with, every moment that they interact with your brand, and list every single step along the way. It might seem like, why am I writing this down? Why am I doing this? But it's really, really important. So list every step throughout the customer journey, every touch point that a client or a customer has with your brand. List it all out. Then your next step is to think about, one, can I cut any of these out? Because sometimes you'll realize like, it takes the customer like 5 steps before they can book in with me. It really should only take 1 or 2. Or maybe you're like, actually, I want to have that longer process so that I can like vet my clients or whatever. Like, just think about the process and think, can I cut any of these out? Can I make the entire process easier, more streamlined, more accessible, more approachable for me and my client, right? So think about, can I cut out any of those and make it easier? You can automate some, you could outsource some, whatever. Just think about how to make that process easier. Then once you have like, okay, I've got this like clearer process, this clearer customer journey that's way easier and way more streamlined, you're going to look at every single step along the way and ask yourself 2 questions. 1, how can I make this look on brand? And 2, how can I make this feel on brand? Okay, so for example, say somebody has just purchased something from you. This is step like 6 in your process. They've just purchased something from you and they're getting a confirmation email. Firstly, how can I make this email look on brand, right? Do I need to update my email template so that it has my logo at the top? It's using my colors for the buttons. It's really recognizable in their inbox that it's from me. It feels on brand and aligned with like where they've just come from my website and what they'll get in the mail. So think about the consistency of how your brand looks across all those experiences. So how can I make this confirmation email look on brand? And then how can I make it feel on brand, right? So we talked earlier about knowing how you want your brand to feel and how you want people to feel when they interact with your brand. So maybe you're thinking about, okay, well, I really want my brand to feel like a cheerleader and I want people to feel really celebrated and feel like they've just like won something. They've won the lottery by ordering this thing and I want to celebrate them and cheerlead them, and that's what my brand should feel like. So maybe in the email there's like some confetti and the copywriting is really exciting and it's like, oh my gosh, congratulations, I'm so hyped that you bought this thing. I'm here to celebrate you and I can't wait to like cheerlead the heck out of you when your new activewear arrives. I don't know, whatever it is that you're selling. Probably not activewear. But how am I going to make this experience, this one touch point, feel really on brand? How am I going to make it feel aligned with like the brand voice that I have and the personality of my brand? So those are the two questions I want you to ask about every single touch point. How can I make it look on brand, and how can I make it feel on brand, right? Some of them, maybe it already does look on brand, so you just want to think about how you can make it feel more on brand, or the other way around. It might feel on brand, but it doesn't look very good. So just go through every one and think about, brainstorm a bunch of ways that you can make them look and feel more on brand. And then you're going to go and do those things. So maybe you need to outsource that to somebody. You might need to hire like a email template developer, somebody who can code you a new template, or you're going to go into your email marketing software and find a template or build a template really quickly, or whatever is going to work for you. Maybe you need to cut that part out of your process. Like we said earlier, it might be something that hopefully you did already do that beforehand. But you might realize like, actually, I can get this across by doing this other thing instead. So one of the things that I changed out of my process was, okay, instead of like back and forth emailing about booking in a kickoff call with me or a discovery call with me with a client, I'm just going to send them a Calendly link and they can book a time that works for them. It's all automated. They'll get reminders. Like, it's going to add to my client experience, which I want people to feel really like in the loop and like they know what's going on and that it's easy and exciting. So that's a way that I can cut like back and forth emails out of my process and help it look and feel more on brand by using this Calendly link. That is your process for applying your brand across the entire customer journey. A kind of step-by-step guide is knowing how you want your brand to look, knowing how you want your brand to feel, listing every touch point that a client or customer is going to have with your brand, cutting out any that you don't need that are like complicating the process or making it harder or stuffier for you or your client or customer. Then you want to think about, okay, how can I make each of these steps look more on brand, and how can I make them feel more on brand? And then you're going to go and implement those things either by yourself or by using your VA or hiring somebody or whatever it is that's going to work, or automating something and putting those things into action. So that is the process. I hope that it has been helpful to think about this and think about how you can apply your brand across your whole experience. Remember that it's not just about individual experiences, it's about the sum total of all of your experiences. So if one is kind of not working and somebody encounters that, then it's gonna kind of put a dampener on the entire experience that they have with your brand. So try and slowly make sure that every experience that somebody's going to have with your brand is on brand, intentional, amazing, wonderful. They're going to have the best time. That's it from me for this episode. Hopefully it's been helpful. As always, let me know if you have any questions. You can just tag me on Instagram or on Twitter, and I can't wait to see how you level up your whole brand experience by doing this. So good luck, get on it, and I will see you soon. Thanks for listening to this episode of Brand Your Passion and choosing to spend some time with me learning about branding, business, and all things creativity. You can find more episodes just like this one at blackandwhitestudios.nz/brandyourpassion. If you liked this one, you can tap that subscribe button so that you're notified about every new episode. And if you've got a spare second, I would love it if you could leave a review on iTunes or wherever you're listening to this podcast right now. I would love to hear from you and hear about how you're enjoying the podcast. If there were some helpful goodies in this episode for you, it would mean the world to me if you could screenshot your podcast player on your phone right now, hop over to Instagram or Twitter and tag me at Black and White Studios. That's at BLCKWHT Studios. By subscribing and reviewing and sharing, you're helping me to reach more creators just like you so that together we can make the world a more creative place, one brand at a time. I really can't achieve this mission without you, so your support means the world. I'll talk to you in the next episode, but until then, keep creating.